Now I would like to turn to our third panelists, or actually there are two, Richard and Katarzyna. You actually concentrate more on the final stage, because if you talk about assessments and training and then certification, you have all the moments, all the aspects in your organization business, but you are really achieved a lot in the certification. So I would like to ask you to share your experience in this field, and also, of course, relating to the topic that Roberto mentioned, that the requirements for digital competence are developing all the time. So the job profile should be revised, I don't know, on yearly base or 2 years base. How do you manage the certification, and how do you manage this aspect that the requirements are constantly changing? Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Because I have some problems with my voice because of operation. Today, my voice will be my colleague, Katarzyna Urban. So please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for handing me the floor, Richard. First question, can you see the screen share of my slide? Is it available to you,
yes,
or
yes.
Not yet? Yes,
it
it's
is
fine.
Available.
Okay, so thank you very much. Dear colleagues, thank you for this opportunity to speak during this international event. And as the time limit is very strict and Mara keeps the discipline strictly, let me start immediately. So the topic of my presentation today is ECCC Foundation experience in building DigComp-based certification system, because this is what we did. The plan of my presentation includes a few words on ECCC Foundation, so who we are, motivation and backgrounds for a certification system, why at all we thought that such a system is needed, and a few words about generic characteristics on the examination system, then a few words into the details, and finally some application for students and workforce that we observed recently. So ECCC Foundation was established in 2009 to develop modern digital society and implement and develop new highly flexible validation and certification system of digital competence for general and professional usage. The Digital Competence Validation Initiative was prompted by a group of academic scientists and practitioners who observed that a serious digital gap in the society is present, and they proposed a new system that could contribute to fight it, mainly also to help evaluate the trainings and to help to see practical results. Why at all we thought that the system is needed in the present reality of European society? Well, it is trivia that digital technology is present in almost every field of public, private and working life. Digital competence now includes not only just digital skills, but a set of skills, knowledge and attitudes, which is very, very important, concerning the nature and the role of information technologies and reflective attitudes towards the information available and responsible use. Digital technology complements almost all existing job tasks now in modern Europe, and consequently digital competencies are required for nearly every kind of job. Soon it is estimated that 90% of jobs in European Union will require some level of digital competence, so everybody literally will need to have at least basic digital competence in order to live, work, learn and participate in European society, and a digitally skilled workforce will need to present on the labor market to avoid gaps and skills mismatches. ECCC Foundation goal was to improve the ability
to all of you, and I think
maybe we have a technical issue just now. We are just checking.
And evolving certification system will help reach this ambitious goal. So being digitally competent is, according to us, a task for the 21st century citizens. So in the foundation, looking for models to set the standard, it was natural for us to reach for European research reports. And this is how we came across DIGCOMP framework. DIGCOMP framework, when we analyzed it, it proved to be logical, well-structured, and well-described. So we decided to adjust our new developing standard and develop ECC standard according to DIGCOMP framework. In our experience, the DIGCOMP framework offers an effective tool to improve citizens' digital competence. And today, being digitally competent means that people need to have competences in all areas of DIGCOMP, in all 5 areas of DIGCOMP. Going into generic characteristic of our system, so general features of the system that we developed is this. The system of the digital competence standardization and certification is defined in ICT areas and levels. So we have certain areas and certain levels. So it is well defined, it is described, it is standardized. It is customizable to the needs that appear, so it's relatively flexible. So it a bit referred to what Roberto said previously, that the system, to be effective, must be dynamic to follow the modern world. It is also quite universal because it can be applied to many professions and many contexts. And the system characteristic is that today's test, today's certificate, so we have immediate gratification and see the result immediately. Whole ECCC examination standard consists of 5 areas, but today I will focus only on ECCC DIGCOMP, which is the top here. I must say also that in these past years, we provided almost 300,000 examinations, and 250,000 examinations was in DIGCOMP. So this also shows the interest of the European audience and how DIGCOMP is relevant and how accurately it can show the skills and competences. So going into details of our ECCC, the examination system, it is designed to serve the citizens. So it's fully compliant with DIGCOMP framework. You can see the modules, which we named according to the abbreviations that you can see on the slide. And in the areas that are fully compliant with DIGCOMP, we know them all. We decided to apply 8 levels, like the new version of DIGCOMP shows, so from A to 8, and where A1 is the lowest and D8 is the highest. We also use the descriptor word, so we call it foundation, intermediate, advanced. And on different levels, there is a different testing time. But what can DIGCOMP do for citizens? DIGCOMP can help with digital competence evaluation, self-evaluation. It can help set goals and identify training opportunities or facilitate job search. In particular, ECCC DIGCOMP examinations can be applied to measure training results. It can be also successfully used to increase in competence acquisitions. Our partners who implemented DIGCOMP standard from education and training institutions, from universities and labor offices or career guidance centers, report that the certification system can help overcoming challenges in learning and working context. So here in this infographic, you have some challenges that can be overcome by the certification system. So for example, trainers observe that digital skill courses have no systematic curricular approach. When we have a system that certifies it, it's easier to measure the effects. And a short example from working world, people from labor offices says that it is difficult to evaluate digital skills during the recruitment process. That is why, for example, such standards, such examination standard can be very useful in the recruitment. Here in this infographic also you have some data about the participants of our examinations. We see that vast majority are students or young people entering the labor market, but it doesn't mean that employed people don't use it. 32% of DigComp certificates that we provided were the people in the labor market. So I see that the time is up. Sorry, Mara, for these 2 minutes. Thank you very much for your attention. In such short time frame, it's difficult to really get into details. For further comments, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Katarzyna. It's really very important to have this systematic approach. And maybe you can mute your mic. Yeah, thank you. So we have 5 minutes left or a little bit more for questions. And first of all, I have to ask Andrea, are there particular questions from the audience?
Yes, we have. Mara,
Yes,
if you allow me, may I start? The first question is a bit longer. It says a lot of people are enhancing their digital skills. Eve said about 50%. So there are a lot of new online courses that were created quickly to serve the need. Do you have any estimation how the DigComp framework is integrated? And does it make self-assessment according to the framework more important? Any idea? How is the framework integrated into the online course estimation that was rising? And does it make self-assessment according to the framework more important? Anybody who wants to join in?
Yves, you want to answer or somebody else?
Okay, thank you. It's a very good question. Questions. Of course, I mean, on the first one, I don't know, because I mean, this is very, very recent, so it's very difficult. We didn't do a scan. We could do, actually, we try to do a scan, even an automatic kind of scan on the internet, to find out exactly of all these kind of new courses would follow more or less the DigComp structure, but we don't know. So on that one, I cannot tell you anything. On the issue of self-reflection, I would believe so, that it's very, very positive, because actually also, just to remind you also that the aim of self-reflection for us is also as a kind of a motivational and awareness-raising tool. You know, because now also with COVID, etc., people realize, okay, I need to upgrade my digital skills. But which digital skills? I don't have a clue what to deal with. So, I mean, I can follow a training, but which kind of training? And our idea of this kind of self-reflection attempts is that they give you a first idea. They give you awareness raising. I mean, they can motivate you. And then you look for training. And then this training, for example, can be certified. So in a sense, yes, I think that self-reflection approaches are very, very important within the angle. So it's not assessment, but they have a specific purpose, a motivational purpose, and an awareness-raising purpose, I think.
And may I ask a maybe naive question, intermediate? I was asking myself, talking awareness, do people know prioritizing what kind of skills they need first and maybe which skills later? And are there tools that kind of support people in prioritizing in the big digital sphere what would be key to their individual needs? Did you understand my question?
Yes.
Yes, I think
I just had to, because I just got a phone call at the same time.
To all of you,
So,
maybe anybody of you wants to join in.
Yeah, maybe, but I would like to maybe, you know, refer to Roberto, because I think their approach related to the digital, the professional profiles is actually a way of trying to prioritize which skills are more important or which skills are more urgent at the first instance. I don't know, Roberto, if you agree with me.
Yeah, yes, of course. I was thinking during the question that there are 3 competences in DIGCOM that are so related and that have evolved so much this year. I mean, interaction, sharing, and collaborating have become so important this year that those 3 competences should be, I mean, they should be promoted inside DIGCOM to evolve and those are the key of the online collaboration, okay, of the teleworking even. So I think that to be able to interact, to communicate very well, to share and to create things together when we are anyone in any spot. So those I think that's the most important thing now, because you can be more or less skilled in other areas, but if you are not very capable to communicate and to share and to work with others, the finished product is going to show those lacks of ability.
Thank you, Roberto.
Just a short comment.
Please.
Just a short comment on the same topic. Prioritizing is a key issue now. What we observed recently from our perspective is that people prioritize their skills differently than employers, which shows how important self-evaluation and standardization is to show the person the reality and the objective truth about their skills and the needs of the labor market.
Yeah, maybe you can jump into the next question. Kaspar Klünger said that most companies know what kind of skills their employees need. Could the framework be helpful for them as well, for the employees, not only for the companies, not only for trainees and training providers?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's crucial for both the companies because it lowers the costs of recruitment, it lowers the costs of further training, but also for employees. It really alleviates the frustration on the pathway of looking of the job. It helps prepare better for career guidance, and it helps for better and successful life. We observe it in really our daily practice.
And I have 2 questions more. One is, you have the system from A1 to D8 as different levels. And then you were talking, Roberto, I think you started there, or you, Yves, talking about this necessity of creating a dynamic system. How difficult and how challenging is it? Because we know that the whole digitization field is galloping, leapfrogging incredibly. How difficult is it to keep it flexible, agile, and dynamic, what you're working for?
Extremely. I must say, it's not only extremely difficult, but also time-consuming, brain power-consuming, and simply costly. We have to really be up to date to what is going on in the digital world, to economic trends, to such unexpected situations as pandemic. So we are a big team of experts, but we try to keep up because we really see the value in providing the system that is agile and updated.
I have a last question, maybe also to ECC Foundation and to the others. Has there been an increase in requests for certificates, which is a big topic today, in the COVID crisis?
I wouldn't say so. I would say that looking at the numbers, it is probably the same. I would think that this is connected to the trainings, as certification is usually the final part of training. And during COVID lockdown, before we started to learn how to digitally do the trainings properly, I mean, from the institutional point of view, it took a bit of time. So we didn't see the increase, but we see the status quo. We see the stable line in numbers of certifications.
And maybe with a very last question, talking self-evaluation, what is needed that the, let's say, the expectations or the thoughts on the company side come closer together with the self-impressions, self-evaluations, etc., from employees and people on the other side, that we bridge that more? What is necessary for that?
Well, maybe I take this question. First of all, it's very important that not just the employees, but that the employers, the company owners, or the public servants are aware of the digital competence which are required, yeah? Because they only understand what is necessary for the employee if they also get aware of all the competence of all the application patterns, yeah? So I think it's equally important, and we don't develop this tool just for employees. It's actually for all citizens. It might be used for employment situations mostly, but it can be also used for your education path or just for your personal digital competence.
So I thank you very much. I don't know what result I would get. Thank you very much for this very complex subject and for this collective deep dive. Thank you very much.